Going on to you, Geminis. I literally tried to do this video 2 times prior to this. So look, you have the 10 of Wands from left to right. The 10 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the 3 of Swords, right? The 6 of Wands, the King of Wands, the 7 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Emperor. So I got to give you all the rundown because I literally tried to do this twice. I've literally done this twice before. Something keeps happening. The 10 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the 3 of Swords. This is about how you Geminis basically are starting to really think for yourselves and starting to really go against the idea that you should be just given anything, and whatever it is that, you know, you're given, you should be okay with that. Because a lot, like I said, I keep saying it. Part of the reason why it is that we get ourselves in long-term dysfunctional relationships, we make, you know, long-term functional relationships, we end up having offspring with people that are very dysfunctional, is because we agreed to that. Unless this person used trickery, where they convinced you and did everything that they could to convince you that they were reliable and that they were decent people, we literally agreed to this. So a lot of you Geminis are starting to understand that you've had a pretty bad deal when it comes to relationships. A lot of other people have, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of you Geminis are actually starting to realize that it's a wrap for you. You're not accepting dysfunctional stuff. And this is dysfunctional people. And now this is where the 5 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords come into play, because people are going to have to really try harder and harder and harder, because there's this misconception, Gemini, where a lot of people tend to think, oh, well, you agreed to this. This is what it is that you like. It's like, well, what about if the person completely tried to trick you by making it seem like they were decent, upright people who made a couple of mistakes, but then changed their life around. And then they did this to you again anyway. So now anyone who's trying to flip that script and make it seem like, oh, well, you knew this from the very beginning, you got to look at those people sideways. So now, like, and this is why it is that I say that a lot of people are out here starting to become desperate, Gemini. The desperation is at an all-time high, and it's going to get higher because they're going to have to straight up lie to you now in order for you to be in a dysfunctional would-be relationship, because they would have to legitimately front like they're decent people first, which now they don't have. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They spent so much time trying to run away from accountability. Now it's, they cannot say, oh, well, you agreed to this. No, you Geminis did not, because you Geminis are in a position of, again, the 10 of Wands. If you would have knew that this person was dysfunctional from the very beginning, you would have told them to shove. You would have told them to shove that relationship right up their butt. So now the 6 of Wands and the King of Wands now represents, and this is where the power is. But you Geminis need to understand, with the King of Wands, this is where it gets crazy, because people in the future, even right now, if you were to try to get yourself into a relationship, people are still going to try to run that game on you. The games is not, put it like this, the games is not going to stop. And what I mean by that is there's going to be dysfunctional people who are going to try to run game. What you need to understand, and this is where a lot of people end up getting lazy, Gemini. What you Geminis need to understand is it's up to you now that you have the knowledge, to make sure and double check that when people are people are who they say they are, you have to double check that. Because a lot of times, you know, have a lot of people who are quite dysfunctional, like I said, who try to flip the script and make it seem like they're decent people, and they're on some Malcolm X type stuff. They made a couple of decisions. They've renounced the dysfunction, They're on a whole new different wave. They're someone completely different, even though they just look the same. So now the Seven of Swords represents how you're still going to have people who are going to be con artists. You're still going to have people who are going to be trying to finesse and rip people off while they're in relationships. Tell people any kind of stuff. You Geminis have to make sure that you're not one of those people that they rip off. And how you do that, number one, is by not playing the game. See, that's the problem. When you play too many games, you win a lot of stupid prizes. When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Because you're agreeing to play the game with a bunch of dysfunctional people. But when you're really looking for the real deal, and people want to be out here like this, where they playing games and you agree to play games with them back, guess what that means? That means that you've lowered your value now, Gemini, because you're a knockoff. And what I mean when I say a knockoff is you're a person that acts like you real, but you even tolerating the game. That's what I'm trying to say. Real people don't even tolerate the games. Once they start to see that games is being played, they know how to maneuver through it. People who are real are not even interested in jumping in the doo-doo pool and learning how to swim through the doo-doo. They're thinking about not even jumping in. And if they are caught up in some stuff, it's not something that they agreed to consciously, but it's something that a person had to use trickery and straight up lie to, basically, to get them to agree to something. So it's not something that they are consciously agreeing to. That's how real people do it. So the Knight of Wands represents when you realize that someone is using confusion in order to get you Geminis to be in a parasocial, dysfunctional relationship with them, right? What is parasocial? A one-sided relationship, a parasitic one. You Geminis are going to see this for what it is, and you're going to leave. You're going to essentially be like, nah. The Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor, this is where the real power is, though, because a lot of you Geminis are starting to wake up, and a lot of you Geminis are starting to realize, oh, wait, a lot of these people out here on some nonsense trying to front like they real. Yes. That's why I don't have anybody. Because I do not want, I'm going to go on record, I do not want a dysfunctional chick. It's not what I want. So when people come up here and they talk about, well, that's what it is that you like. You a liar now, because I put what I like on record. So what you got to say to that? I want a plain Jane. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Emperor. That rainstorm just brought in whole more heat, way more heat than it did. Than it was supposed to, I mean. So you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, right? The Two of Pentacles. You're going to have some people that's going to try to come on in and see if their game's still going to work. Because again, you Geminis are more aware of what's going on. You know that a lot more people are in the game, and a lot of people like to be confusing and use straight up lies to get people to agree to be in a relationship that's dysfunctional. And then they try to flip, then they use another lie by trying to flip it to make it seem like, well, oh, that's what it is that you agreed to the whole time. They're trying to really play it off like you Geminis would agree to a very dysfunctional relationship. Come on now, you Geminis have more common sense than that. You would never agree to that, right? If that's how it is that they put you out like that, right? But see, this is what I mean when I say that dysfunctional people, I may have to make a video talking about that. Dysfunctional people, they like to double talk. They like to double speak. They like to double talk. It's always, again, about confusing what it is that you are interacting with and what you're agreeing to. Then they stupid behinds is trying to make it seem like you agreed to this. Do you honestly think that I would agree to someone disrespecting me? If they put it blatantly to you, if they put it blatantly to you, Geminis, Would you Geminis agree to a blatant disrespect? Someone's telling you, I'm gonna disrespect you. I'm gonna treat you like trash. Everything that you say is gonna go in one ear and out the other. I'm gonna be totally disrespectful to you. I'm gonna cheat on you. I'm not gonna respect you at all. Would you agree to be in a relationship like that if someone blatantly told you like that? No. They gotta be double talking. Well, you know, I'm really looking for someone that really wanted or whatnot. Why? So you could take advantage of a person who's not playing the game and is serious? Two of Pentacles, because they want, and they do that type of stuff because they do that, right? And they're going to try to come back and try to confuse you some more, but they try to confuse you so that you can say, oh, well, this person has changed. Those types of stupid, dysfunctional people, they're dummies.